Okay, so get this right. Someone sent in this list, right? Top 10 greatest fictional foods from the Top 10's website.
Top tens, yeah.
So we're talking crusty burgers, butterbeer, Wonka bars. I mean, this list has got me craving stuff that doesn't even exist.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It really gets you thinking, like, what is it about these foods, you know? They're not real, but they clearly tap into something deep, this desire for, well, I guess you could call it a kind of culinary escapism.
Culinary escapism, I like that.
Yeah.
So are we saying that fictional foods are more than just about, like, satisfying hunger?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. These foods are tied to entire worlds, to emotions, to nostalgia. They're symbols of something bigger, something we maybe long for in our own lives.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see that. Like, right off the bat, we've got the Krabby Patty at #1, and the person who submitted this list even calls it cool. What makes a cartoon burger so cool, though?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the visuals. Animation, especially the kind you see in SpongeBob, it allows for this really exaggerated kind of hyper-real style. The colors are brighter, the texture is more pronounced. You see that Krabby Patty bun all fluffy and glistening, the cheese practically dripping off the screen.
Yeah, and that lettuce, like
Yeah,
so perfectly crisp and green, right?
exactly. It's all designed to appeal to our senses on this, well, almost primal level. It's like our brains are telling us, eat this is delicious, even though, of course, we can't actually taste it.
It's like playing with those expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know it's not real, but we still kind of want it.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing a trend here. A lot of these foods, they're connected to specific universes. It's like you want a crusty burger, you're craving a trip to Springfield. Butterbeer, you're basically wishing for a Hogwarts acceptance letter.
Absolutely. It's about experiencing those worlds, even if it's just in our imaginations. It's about tapping into that sense of wonder, that feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves.
So it's more than just a meal, it's like a taste of adventure.
And speaking of taste, you mentioned something interesting about the marshmallows in Total Drama. How the show made them look, quote, pretty delicious, even though you're not usually a marshmallow fan. So, can a show actually change how food seems to us?
Oh, 100%. I think context plays a huge role here. The way food is presented, the characters who are eating it, the emotions tied to that moment, it all influences our perception. Like if you see a character you love really enjoying a certain food, it creates this positive association in your mind. Suddenly, you're more open to trying it yourself, or at least you view it in a different light.
Okay, that makes sense. So, like, even music playing in the background or the setting, it all adds to the, I guess, the deliciousness factor.
Exactly. It becomes more than just sustenance. It becomes a symbol imbued with meaning and emotion. This is what's known as food semiotics, the study of how food communicates beyond its basic nutritional value.
Food semiotics, huh? Never heard of that. So, can you give us some examples? Like, how does this work in practice? Sure. Let's take Wonka bars, for instance. They're chocolate, yes, but they also represent childhood wonder, the excitement of the unknown, or Lemba's bread from Lord of the Rings. It's more than just bread. It's a symbol of resilience, of perseverance in the face of hardship.
Okay, I'm getting it now. Like, it's not just what you eat, but what that food represents. So is there anything else on this list that kind of embodies this food semiotics thing?
Oh, there are tons, but one that jumps out is the fruit of the tree of might from Dragon Ball Z. It grants immense power, but at a terrible cost. It represents this, well, this temptation for power and the dangers that come with it.
The dangers, yeah. That's interesting because your list has everything from totally made up stuff like that to really normal food, like donuts. Are we drawn more to the familiar or the totally bizarre when it comes to fictional food?
You know, it's funny. It's almost like a 50-50 split. I think there's comfort in the familiar, right? We see a crusty burger, we have some idea of what to expect. But then there's this thrill of the unknown, this curiosity about what something completely alien might taste like. Like what Aya Slurm, exactly. Is it sweet, sour, fizzy?
Yeah, it's that whole mystery, right? Like you want to solve it, but you also kind of don't want to ruin the fantasy.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that most of these foods, they lack very detailed descriptions. Like, we know a Krabby Patty has a secret formula, but we don't know exactly what that formula is.
So we get to fill in the blanks ourselves, our own headcanon Krabby Patty, so to speak.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the appeal. It allows us to personalize the experience, to make it our own. We're not just consuming someone else's creation, we're actively participating in it.
All right, so wrapping up here, we've got this list of foods that don't even exist, and yet people are craving them. Is it all about escape, nostalgia, or just the sheer creativity of these fictional worlds? Like, what's the takeaway here?
I think it's a testament to the power of storytelling, don't you? These foods, they're not just about taste, they're about emotions, experiences, this desire to connect with something beyond our everyday lives.
Yeah, totally. It's like they offer us a glimpse into another world, even if it's just through our taste buds. Or, well, our imaginary taste buds.
Right. And it makes you wonder if you could invent a fictional food, what would it be? And what would that say about you, about your hopes, your fears, your desires? It's definitely something to chew on, isn't it?
It really is
Yeah.
something to chew on indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us, everyone.